Hello everyone, Linda Israel here, and I'm coming to you today with a video showing you some new stencils, and then I'm going to give you a tutorial. So the first thing that I want to show you right off the bat is I have a new artistic stencil club, and in this stencil club you're going to get 4 stencils, 4 different designs. First 2 for March 2019 are these 2 half stencils. They are 8.5 by 5.5, and you get 2 different designs. So I'm going to show you what they look like when used with Tattered Angels Glimmer Mists in just a moment. Then the next 2 stencils I'm going to show you, these are 8.5 by 11-ish. They may be slightly smaller if I had a border. This one's going to change just slightly from the one I'm showing you, as it's going to have a border around it. I found that it needed one to make it stronger. And I call this, I think it was called Flare is what we decided. I have to look at my notes again. On my Facebook, my YouTube Live, the audience gave me some ideas, and this one is going to be a Xenia in the name of it. So all 4 of these come in the Stencil subscription club. That is a monthly club, and then the next month you're going to get 4 different designs. You'll also get a 20% off coupon to use on all stencils in the shop, placed the same time or within the same time frame that month of your subscription. What else? You can cancel your subscription at any time, and it is a month-to-month subscription. Just the only way to make sure you get it is to sign up. And if you order before the 15th of the month, you'll get that month's stencil club. If you order on the 15th or 16th of the month and thereafter, you get the following month. The stencils will ship out the 15th of every month. All right, let's show you what these look like. So I'm just going to get my spray box, and I've got a mop-up sheet of paper, and this is 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So I'm going to just do both of these at the same time, just so you can see what it looks like on a journal page. So pretend that you fold that in half. So I'm going to grab a couple of colors of Tattered Angels. I've got Imperial Blue, so I'm going to just kind of do a little bit on both sides. I'm going to grab a Maya. No, this is Curious Blue. And then I know I have, this is Italian Sunset. So it kind of gives it a little more color. I'm going to add some green. And I think I'm ready to mop up on this. Alright, so that is mopping up off those stencils. And it's just really cool, the different background that you get. And then here it is when you spray through the stencils. I just think they turn out really cool like that. So I wanted to show you those 2 stencils. So now let's show you the Xenia stencil. And I'm going to, let's spray it with the orange. And we'll do a little bit of yellow. What do you think of that? I love the colors on this. And I love the way this pattern is. And I just think it'd be great journal pages. So then let me show you the last stencil. I'm going to use the Curious Blue. And then I'm going to use the, this is Imperial. So that's what it looks like sprayed through the flare. And this is what it looks like when you mop up. And I just love this because it reminds me of like old tile. And you can put other colors with it as well. So now let me show you the journal card that we're going to make. So prior to starting the video, I took one of these oversized postcards, and I took a couple of book pages and glued it down. And then I just covered both sides of it, and I trimmed it. It's 6 inches, which was the height of the journal or the postcard, and then 3 inches wide in this case. So I've done that. The next thing that I did was I decided which was the back side, and this is going to be the back side. And I took some craft paint, just acrylic antique ivory paint and put it on a little food tray and have a gift card. And then I'm just going to go on the back side of this just a little. And I want thin coats because you don't want it too thick that you can't write on it, but you want it to kind of obscure the words behind. Okay? And I'm going to dry this and be right back. So the next thing I'm going to do is take my Distress ink and I'm going to go all the way around the edge on both sides of this little card. So we're going to make this card. I need to get all the elements, so let's look at those. I've got the Lisa stamp. So this is from Beeline Designs and I have it in my shop. So I stamped it with black archival ink onto some heavy cardstock and I fussy cut her out. Then I stamped the Bella Rose stamp. So this is the Bella Rose twice. And used the same black ink and fussy cut those out. This is one of the butterflies. It's in a butterfly bundle, or you can buy them individually in my shop. And I fussy cut that out as well. So while I have these all out, I'm going to go ahead and add some Distress ink to the edges. Okay, so I've got all of these ready with Distress ink. So let's add some color to the background here. So I'm going to lay this in the spray box. I'm going to take my stencil that's 8.5 by 11 that has the circle with the flowers in the middle. And I'm going to put it portrait mode on there. Then I'm going to grab a couple of colors of Glimmer Mist. So I've got, this is Curious, and we're going to spray Curious on here. And then I've got a green, so I'm just going to grab this. This is Hemlock Green. And I'm just going to add just a little touch of green. I'll mop up. I like when you mop up and you get that pattern coming all the way through. It kind of looks like lattice. Isn't that neat, the way that looks? And here's what it looks like on the book page. Isn't that beautiful? I just love the color and being able to put a pattern on there. So let's start putting this together. We've got our lady here and we've got a butterfly and roses, and we need to paint these or color them. And how I'm going to color them is I've got a little, this was a piece of a candy holder of some kind, and I'm going to grab some colors of Tattered Angels here. I'm going to put Sunset Orange, and then I have the orange that's part of the Outrageous Orange kit. So Outrageous Orange is going to go in here. You can only get Outrageous Orange through my subscription box. And then I've got the Hemlock Green, so I'm just going to spray that in to my palette. So all of those have been sprayed in there. I'm going to grab a paintbrush. It's been in water, so I'm just going to wipe off any excess water. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of this Glimmer Mist, and then if you stir it, if you have, I use the same palette, if you have had some in the palette, just kind of stir it up. And then I'm going to go in here and we're going to quickly watercolor this butterfly. I'm just adding a little bit of color to it. Okay? Then I'm going to go ahead, since I'm in the same color, I'm going to go down here and watercolor really fast. I mean, you can see this is really, really fast, the whole image, with the paler color. So if you're doing this with other colors, you want a pale color and a darker color. Kind of see that? So I'm just coloring that in. So now I'm going to pick up the darker color on the tip of my paintbrush and get the butterfly here. And I'm going to go in here and just kind of touch it where the darker parts are of the butterfly, and adding that darker orange in there. Can you see that? So it gets that effect like you've spent all this time blending and perfecting where the color goes. And I just daubed a paintbrush on there really fast. You like that? Alright, so I'm going to do the same concept with the roses. I'm going to go in here and where it's darker, I'm going to add And then I'm also going to go right around the lip of each petal. And that'll make it look like I've spent a lot of time shading and perfecting where I'm going to paint my lines when I just followed the rubber stamp. Make it easy, y'all. Oh. Now see how much different those look from each other without going in and shading it just a little bit. And it was pretty simple. It didn't take me very long. We'll do the other one and then we'll move on. Alright, so now I'm going to clean my brush. And I'm going to pick up some of the green and we're going to do the leaves. Same fashion, just kind of fill it in. I'm going to clean my brush out again, and then this time I'm going to go in and I'm going to pick up some of that pale orange and we're going to color her hair just a little bit. And then I'm going to grab some of the darker orange and we're just going to kind of go in and add a few highlights with that darker. Okay? And we'll get rid of that, move these over. I want to go ahead and add some more color to her as well. So I've got a couple of the distressed inks. I don't know if it'll focus. And I've got dried marigold and fired brick. And then I have these really cool tools. They're called Fantastics. And they have this ink nib that you can go in here and pick up color from the stamp pad, and then it's kind of like using a marker. You can go in here and color on your face there. So I did that with the red, and now I'm going to do it with the dried marigold. I'm going to pick up some color and I'm going to go right around her face and around her lip. And the more you press on here, the more ink you'll get. So if you don't want as much, don't press as hard. And you can also kind of use a scrap pad of paper to remove too much. So I'm just going where the darker areas are, the highlights if you will, and adding a little bit of color on here, like that. Okay? So let's start building this. So we're going to glue her in the upper corner here. Her nose got a little brown, but that's okay. It's vintagey looking and handmade. And I'm just using Aleene's tacky glue. Just Aleene's tacky glue. I hope I zoom out just a little. Alright. And we're going to place this in the upper top corner here. And something that I found that kind of helps make this become one piece is if you pick up one of the Fantastics and you can go right around the edge. I'm dipping it in the walnut stain to kind of give this stamped image a little bit of a shadow. It's not real, dark, depending on how heavy you apply the ink. Okay? And then I'm going to take one of these roses and I want to put it down here on the bottom. But I know that this rose petal won't be seen if I leave it there, so I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to save it and I'm going to use it in a different spot. So now I want this right here on this corner. So we're going to adhere it down. And I'm just pressing it together. And then on the little leaf, I'm going to put some glue on the back of it. And I'm going to stick it just under the lip here. You see that? Where I stuck it just under there. And I'll hold it for just a moment until I feel that it's adhered. And then I've got some fibers here. I've made up some bundles of fibers per a couple of my customers' requests. So if you're looking for fancy fibers and you don't really want a whole skein of it, but a yard would be good. I have some. I have about 40 different kinds in my shop. 4 different bundles. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm just kind of making a little circle here. And I'm looking, I think I want it right about there. So I'm going to take a little bit of glue and I'm going to put a blob right on there. I'm going to stick in the fibers. Then I'm going to grab the other rows and we're going to put glue on the back side of it. And I'm going to position this over the fibers. And what I'll do is I'll grab my acrylic block, one of my big ones, and I'll put it right on top of that so it can hold it for a moment. So while that's doing that, I'm going to go in here, and I think what I want to do is have this little butterfly like the other one just barely hanging off. You see right there? So I'm going to take a little bit of the glue and put it only on half the butterfly, so not the whole thing, just half. And we're going to stick it on the page here. And then we're going to use the same Fantastics and go in and go around the butterfly. It's almost adhered down. I'm trying to hurry, so I'll put something heavy on it when I get off the video. So the next thing I've got is I have these little words that I printed. I printed them on white cardstock with a black background so you could see the white. And I have forgotten to do this part, so I better do it now. I've got some distress ink. I'm just going to go right around the edges because it's a white core paper. I don't really want the whites showing. And then I'm going to take a little bit of glue on the back side, drop it, and we're going to put this kind of across the roses here. And it says, use your wings. So there is the little journal cards that I made that'll go into a journal I'm working on, and different ways to use rubber stamps and stencils, as well as how to color with Tattered Angels Glimmer Mists and distress inks. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you like what I'm showing you. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. You know, check down below for the links to my shop for all the products that I shared. I greatly appreciate your support. It keeps me showing you tutorials like this when you support me in my shop. Make sure you come by on Mondays at 3:45 p.m. Central Standard Time for my live YouTube videos where I have prizes and make journals. Then on Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, I am also live on YouTube. And make sure you follow, hit that notification button, subscribe. When I get to 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to have some really awesome giveaways, and you want to be a part of that. Alright everybody, thanks so much for watching. Check out my stencil club as well as the stamps. I have bundles that have the Lisa and the Bella Rose and Janice together, and it's a good bundle, and as well as the butterflies I have as bundles as well. Alright everybody, thanks so much for watching. Bye!